Alright, so in this video, I want to talk about something that I noticed, or at least am paying more attention to now, because I think it's becoming more and more relevant as time goes on here. I want to go over my Bitcoin analysis currently, both locally and on a higher time frame, and how this area right here I think is going to be very important in the short term, and how if Bitcoin loses this area, it could be really devastating for some altcoins. So I've noticed that a lot of altcoins have been building up liquidity on this move to the upside. Not a lot of liquidity runs, meaning taking out significant higher lows. We, basically left all the stop losses below here intact, all the ones below here intact. Even on a lower time frame, most of these higher lows were not taken out. And it's a lot more prevalent on some other assets. Chainlink is another good example. A lot of higher lows still intact. And I've been paying attention to this, but I kind of didn't pay it a lot of mind for a few reasons. Number one, I thought Bitcoin had more significant resistance to reach, so prior to that, it wasn't in the front of my mind. And also, Bitcoin was looking pretty strong up until, honestly, we got this SFP-like move into this resistance zone, and then kind of started ranging with some bearish looking market cipher. Money flow starting to come down, divergences on some of the midterm time frames, the 1 hour. The 2 hours not looking too bad here, and I am talking about this a little early because Bitcoin, number one, is still in an uptrend, along with a lot of these altcoins. A lot of them are at least not significantly breaking their uptrends yet. Link actually did take out its higher low, but Solana is still in an uptrend. Good old FC is still in an uptrend, but this is just something I want to be prepared for because things can change very quickly. We are seeing today that some things are getting hit pretty hard. They're retracing a fair amount already, and basically my main point here is that I think, number one, it is definitely a possibility for Bitcoin to retrace on a higher time frame here, losing this local support to come down and make a higher time frame higher low. We recently took out a high time frame lower high. We flipped structure, so a pullback at some point does make sense. You usually don't break market structure and then teleport straight to the other side of the range. Usually takes a couple pullbacks to get enough steam to push us up if we are even intended to come this high. My point is, I think a retrace at some point makes sense. And we have hit a significant resistance zone. I do think this one up here is more significant, and I might even prefer if we hit this zone first and then retrace prior to making a higher low, getting some kind of bullish sign in here before sending price back up. Because if that's the case, that kind of shows to me that this zone is not working. This zone, which is very significant, it could, basically spoil our plans of seeing a rotation back to the range high. So if we hit it already and then we start flipping things back to bullish after getting a retrace, that kind of shows me that this zone is weak and that we will probably break through it next time. But it is also a real possibility that we retrace from where we're at. We could certainly start pulling back now, and a lot of these altcoins could start seeing some liquidity hunts very quickly. Now, despite that, I am still looking for local longs, as long as we're in an uptrend. If I see an opportunity to long, maybe we even come down to this zone, but we get like an SFP into it. I do think this zone is pretty strong support. Then maybe I'll look for long trades there. Maybe we even, kind of break structure here, breaking below this higher low, but then we just come down to hit this support zone that lines up with the back test of this previous range high. That is also a real possibility. That's why I kind of made a big zone here. I want to give it wiggle room because there could definitely be some bearish fake outs as well. We could start to lose structure just to kind of back test this range high and then go off from there. Yeah, I think currently my idea is that if we start losing this zone, even though the value area low is down here, and maybe we don't even come down that far, maybe we just lose the zone a little bit, start ranging, and then start to bounce back to the upside. It's real possible that in this time period, a lot of alts see some violent moves to the downside. It's not guaranteed to happen, but given the fact that it appears like all this liquidity is sitting below price, and we are already kind of starting to see some bearishness here, both in the way price is acting and in the way market cipher looks, at least on the lower time frames. We really see money flow struggling here. Some of the higher time frames look like you could maintain hope. So it is kind of conflicting looking at it, but I want to be aware of this fact because let's say my local long ideas do not play out and we do start to dump really heavily. I want to maybe start planning some long trades for, in that scenario, like maybe are there long trades to be had after taking out all this liquidity? Is there some kind of support zone down here that I can look at? And I probably will do that. I'll probably look through a lot of altcoins and look for some long trades. And if Bitcoin just continues with this local uptrend along with these altcoins, then, we're on our merry way back to the upside, and maybe we leave this liquidity for another day. I just don't want to get caught off guard if things start to turn around very quickly here. And I also don't want to get the wrong idea, because, again, I do think if Bitcoin starts to retrace, even if we lose, key support zones like this, honestly, at this point, we've gotten a strong break above this range high / lower high. So I think the probabilities are pointing to a higher low being made. Now, there is also, liquidity sitting below Bitcoin, and, it kind of goes pretty far down there. So maybe we see a really far retrace. Honestly, the fact that this liquidity is sitting here is a little worrying because, if we're going to come down this far to take out this liquidity, why not hunt the liquidity sitting below the actual swing low as well? Honestly, even just having this wick low that front ran this low makes me kind of tip my probabilities a little bit more back to even. Like, I don't know, it's kind of seeming like a 50-50 as to if we are going to make a higher low. That is, if we start getting a deeper retrace here, starting to take out this liquidity, we start doing that, there is a real possibility that we come down to make a lower low. Even if it is just a brief one, I mean, we could SFP this low down here, not actually break structure back to bearish, and then just head back to the upside after that. That's another possibility. But I think the main things to keep in mind are what's right in front of us, this important support, and if we continue to the upside, the important resistance that's just above us. And we'll take things from there. We'll see what price does. But yeah, anyways, thank you all for watching the video. If you enjoyed, consider leaving a like, subscribing, leaving a comment. I appreciate all the support on my channel, and I'll see you all in the next one.